Thank you. This is just a picture of my brothers and I from our last camping trip. Usually I have my wife and the kids and the grandchildren, but I changed it. For those, there's some new faces, as well as the people who slept through the last couple of presentations I did, so I thought I would just run through this again.
What?
Company information, as Ev has already told you. Whoops, wrong button. Down, yes, okay. So basically, the company's 8 years old. I've been with BNI 7 years. I'm in Thornhill. I have an office at Weston and Steeles and a little warehouse on Langstaff and Kiel. All the important stuff, WSOB compliant, tickets for scissor lift, boom lift, all these things are important. WHMIS is very important. That's hazardous materials. And, oh yeah, I'm a BNI ambassador for 2 chapters. Throw that in there. Any questions?
You finished that?
Got to make sure.
What's your favorite color?
Blue.
Right answer.
What's the most common problem you see with paint?
Well, there's not a, there. I get a lot of mold. I get a lot of homes where, and I'm going to show you some pictures where nothing was prepped properly. So we often get into situations where they say, I need all this wallpaper taken off. How much? We have no idea. If the wallpaper was installed properly, it comes off pretty easily. And installed properly means that whatever paint is there on top of it, there's a coat of oil, which yes, we can still get. So if there's proper preparation under the wallpaper, it's a pretty easy step. Often what happens is it was never prepared properly, so we start to bring it down, and wallpaper is in layers. There's 3 or 4, depending on the wallpaper, layers of paper. So the top layer always comes off fairly easily. The other layers don't really want to move. So what happens is it starts to bring the drywall with it. And then we get chunks of drywall coming out. And now, $150, $200 wallpaper removal is, you know, a $1,000 wall skim. So it's very difficult to predict that. And even in my terms and conditions, I say, listen, if everything is normal, it's $200 or whatever it is to remove the wallpaper. However, if any damage other than small damages, because when we're taking it off, sometimes we'll scrape. We're responsible for that. But any damages that result from the removal of the wallpaper, there will be extra charges, and that's the closest I can give somebody. We run into a lot of mold issues, and sometimes it's just surface. And I once did a presentation on mold. What we see from mold is really mold poop. Mold is a biological entity, and it's buried in the drywall. That's where it lives, in the moisture. And what we see is the residue, the excrement, whatever the technical terms are. So that's always an issue, because if it's just on the surface, somebody here had that issue, it's not a big deal. We can clean it and paint it. There are paints that are designed to restrict that kind of growth. If it's in the drywall, you got to start removing the drywall, because that stuff is not going to go away, so it can become an issue. Those are the 2 big issues. I want to show you, I don't know what the time is like, I want to get to couple of pictures to illustrate this. Kinds of referrals we're looking for are obviously high-end builders, commercial property managers, residential meaning apartment or condominium, there's really no magic to the kind of people we're looking for. The other people we like to look for are good contractors, because like Revi or Daryl said before, there's a zillion contractors. There's not a lot of good ones, and the good ones are the ones that really care about their client. Those are the guys we like to work with. So, and the other market that is good for not just me, but for everybody here is, there's a huge situation where seniors, forgive me, single women, are really taken advantage of by a lot of the trades. And we need to be able to help these people. So we need good, honest trades to serve that market, because they're really abused. I've been through this before as well. Referral triggers. Mario's an example of an advocator. You know, of a creator. The bottom line. Advocators are, you hear somebody say, I need a painter. It's easy to draw the line, and you call me, and we go and see. And, you know, there's promoters where they hear kind of a trigger, like I'm moving, or I need to get my house ready for sale. Those kind of issues. And then there's guys like Mario that go looking for a reason to bring it up as a topic of conversation with whoever they're speaking with. And those people are very good, and they're good at generating business really for the chapter at large. I know I'm rushing, but Mike was referring to pricing and things like that, setting customers' expectations. Just a quick story, I'm going to show you a picture. These are the reasons that a lot of people are reluctant when they get involved with trades because they don't know. Not only do they not know who you are, they've never done this before. They don't know what a home renovation is. They don't know what painting a bathroom is. They don't know what rewiring some pot lights is. So they're hesitant. They really don't get it. So they get a whole bunch of quotes. I just dealt with somebody who got 31 quotes. Honest to God.
For a bathroom?
We did not get the job. So, no, we did not want that. Well, I wanted it for what I was prepared to pay. But, we run into this, everybody, Zia, Revy, everybody runs into this, is, price. Price is never an issue, it's always the issue. It's something you have to address, and, that's something for a conversation that I think we should have one day. We're always under pressure to lower our price. Well, I got another quote from somebody else. Great. This is what I need to do the job for you properly. If you want to go someplace else, that's certainly your prerogative. And I always encourage people to get 2 or 3 prices. So, questions?
What do you do when you come into these new houses that have been built and they got that crappy paint builder beige stuff? Is there any surface preparations you got to do, or can you just get in there and do a regular paint job like you would in any other house?
I'm going to say more like a regular job, unless they did a really bad job, if the joints are out and there's really a mess. And the interesting thing is, anybody in the trades will tell you this, the higher end the house, the fancier, more expensive the builder, the crappier the job. It's unbelievable. It's like a direct correlation.
Except
With
Daryl.
the exception of Daryl.
Well, Daryl doesn't count. Daryl was one of the good contractors I referred to earlier. Okay, so these are the things we're looking for, and that we would do. Oh boy. Okay. These are the kind of things that if you see, these people need some help, because all these things are going to lead to the deterioration of the substrate, whether it's wood or drywall, whatever it might be. So our biggest competitor is do-it-yourselfers. This is a home that was given to me by a real estate agent, where the folks did the work themselves. Now they're getting it prepped for sale. Unbelievable. These are just. Pardon me?
Do I know the agent?
You brought it up. I wasn't saying anything. God love your wife. Okay. So, for example, the bottom right corner. I go in there, and these things are hanging out. Can you fix a drywall? Well, sure, no problem. Did you get a plumber to come and look after the pipes? No. You can cut it. We won't cut it. We won't do anything like that. Anything within the trades that requires a licensed contractor, we bring in a licensed contractor, and the customer has to pay for it. He wanted me to just sort of cut this stuff and cap it and stick it behind the wall. Great. So 30 days later, there's a leak. There's lawsuits happening. We can't be responsible for that. We're not licensed, and we won't even cut that black little drain thing. Okay? You need a plumber for it. So that's kind of what differentiates us, because when I spoke to the customer, like, he had no clue. He said, well, you can just cut it. They just don't get it. So you have to educate the customers, and you have to set their expectations properly. So that job that I just showed you, I got about 4 for it. He said, well, I got a guy who'll do it for 2. I said, good for you. Anyway, I got the job, because he just knew it needed to be done properly. He was never going to sell that place. So this is a higher end home. I just wanted to show you. We went in. The electrician that did the pot lights actually did a pretty good job, but the ceiling was beige, and you can see all the blue along that side. That's really fancy, expensive wallpaper under there, so we had to protect that. So I just show you the kind of lengths we go to protect the customer's property, and that's another reason that I'm $4,000, not $2,000 for that little job. So the ceiling ended up being white, is what she wanted. You can see that we kind of whited out a lot of things, and she was very happy. Okay, we'll talk about Weight Watchers next time.
All right,
Thank you.
very much.
Thank you very much.